Hi everybody, Mr. Nunes here again. Thanks for coming back and joining me. Today we're going to be looking at adding mixed numbers with unlike denominators. So let's go ahead and let's get started. The first question we're going to look at is 3 and 1/2 plus 2 and 2/8. The first thing I notice is my denominators are not the same, so I know that we need to fix that. We need to find the LCM to fix it because that's going to tell us what they have in common. So I need my 2's and my 8's. I like to skip count by my small number first, and I like to go to times 5. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. And 2 times 5 is 10. So I went to times 5. Now I go to my big number and I do one at a time and try to find a match. 8 times 1 is 8. And when I do that, it already has a match. So I already found my LCM, my least common multiple. And that's 8. What am I going to do with that? That becomes my new denominator. Again, the denominator is the bottom number. Why do I need that? It's because my bottom numbers are not the same right now. They're not common. The LCM will tell me how to make them common. So I need something eighths plus something eighths, and that's going to equal something eighths. Don't forget to keep your whole number in here and make it tall, as big as your fraction. And now we got to figure out, how did it change? Because it was a 2, now it's an 8. How did my old numbers become my new ones? Because they are equal. They're equivalent. They just look different. How did 2 become 8? Well, it's right here on your skip counting, on your LCM. Not times 1, not 2 times 2, not 2 times 3, but 2 times 4. 2 times 4 gives you 8. So multiply the top number by 4. And 1 times 4 is 4. Oh, look at that. 1/2. Well, 4/8 is also half. Again, they are equivalent even though they look different. The second fraction, though, it didn't actually have to change. It already had an 8 on the bottom. So in math, how do we make things stay the same? By multiplying by 1. Multiply 1, and it does not change. So 2/8 is still 2/8 because it already had my 8 on the bottom. Now that I have that, I can add my whole number. 3 plus 2 is 5. And now I can work on my fraction. And what goes on top? 4 plus 2 is 6. Now, that looks like a good answer, and it is a correct answer. But that fraction, we got to see if we can simplify it. In order to simplify, we're looking for the GCF, the greatest common factor. And I do that in a T-chart. When we're talking about factors, we're talking about what do we multiply to get a 6? 1 always works for every number, 1 times 6. 6 is even, so I know 2 is going to work. 2 times 3. After 2, I try my 3's. But I already have a 3 on my list, so I'm done. At least with my 6's. Now I got to do the same thing for 8. 8, again, 1 works. 1 times 8. After 1, you got to try 2. 2 is going to work because it's even. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 gives me my 8. After 2, we try 3. 3 doesn't make an 8. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. So 3's don't work. What comes after 3? 4. I already have a 4 on my list, so you're done. So those are the factors. Now let's find what they have in common. They always have a 1. 6 has a 2, and 8 has a 2. 6 has a 3, 8 does not. 6 has a 6, 8 does not. 6 does not have a 4 on it, and 6 does not have an 8 on it. So now we got to figure out which is the greatest. The greatest that they both have. Yes, 8 is big. Yes, 6 is big, but they don't both have that. The biggest number they both have is 2. Why do we need the GCF? Because that's going to help us simplify. That's going to help us fix our fraction and get a simpler fraction. We keep our whole number, but now we divide the top and the bottom by the GCF, which is 2. So we divide 6 and 2, and we divide 8 and 2. And let's see what we get. The answer is right back here in our chart. 6 divided by 2. Find 6. Find the 2. What's next to the 2? A 3. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. Same thing with 8. 8 divided by 2. Here's 8. Here's 2. 8 divided by 2, what's next to the 2? Is a 4. And that is going to be our best and simplified answer. Again, 5 6/8 is correct, but 5 3/4 is simplified, and that's our best answer. All right, let's look at one more question today. Let's look at 2 4/5 plus 1 1/2. Again, the first thing I hope we all notice is that the denominators are not the same. I got a 5 on one side and a 2 on the other, so I got to fix that. I got 5s and 2s. Again, I like to count with my small number first. Count until I get to times 5. Times 1 is 2, times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 5 is 10. Now I do one at a time. 5 times 1 is 5. That does not have a match yet. 5 times 2 is 10. That does give me my match. And there it is. They both have a 10. So that tells me my LCM equals 10. Why do we need the LCM? Because that becomes our new denominator. And again, the denominator is the bottom number. That's what we were trying to fix. So I know now that I'm going to have something fifths plus something fifths, and it's going to equal something fifths. Don't forget about your whole number and make sure it's as tall as your whole fraction. What we're missing now is our numerator, the top number. Except, as you can see, I already have a mistake. We got to be really careful with our work. I should not have a 5 on the bottom because 5 is not my LCM, is it? So it's not my LCM. So what I can do is I can either try to fix it right here, but since I have pens, I'm just going to scratch it out and start again with my real LCM, which is 10. We got to be real careful. Little mistakes like that can get the whole question wrong. So we got our 10 on the bottom because that is my denominator. So I got to get my whole numbers again. Got them. And now I got to figure out what goes on top. Because I used to have, with my old fractions, I had a 5. My new fractions, mixed numbers, I have a 10. How did 5 get to 10? It's right here in my chart. 5 times 2 is 10. So multiply the top number by 2. So that's going to give me an 8 on the top because 4 times 2 is 8. Do the same thing with my second fraction. It was a 2, and I had to get all the way to 10 on the bottom. That's not 1. It's not times 2. It's not times 3. It's not times 4. It's times 5. If you multiply the bottom by 5, it gives you 10. So multiply the top by 5. 1 times 5 is 5. Now we can add finally. Go ahead and add your whole numbers. 2 plus 1 is 3. Now add your top numbers, 8 and 5. 8 and 5 makes 13. This is a correct number, except we have an improper fraction here. 13 on top of 10. We can't leave that alone. We need to fix that. One way of fixing that is by looking at a number line. A number line is going to help us fix that improper fraction. So what I can do is I can take my number line here, and I need a couple important things. I need 10 to be my one whole. But I have 13 pieces. That tells me that I need to get all the way to there, all the way to 13. So I have one whole because I made it to 10 and then I made it some more. So how far did I actually get? I got one whole. And then how much farther? I went 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. So 1 and 3/10. Now that's tricky because I already had 3 wholes. So I need to add that to my 3. Add that to that 3. Okay? Because 13/10 is 1 and 3/10. So really what we have is 1 more, which gives me 4, and then I got my 3/10 extra. And that is going to be our best answer. 4 and 3/10. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you coming again. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you another time. Bye.